Okay, so good day everyone. So for today, we're going to have an idea on how we'll be able to answer some questions during your defense. Practicing answering thesis and defense question is in a mock thesis defense is the best way to get ready for this challenging step in your academic career. So aside from knowing your research project inside and out, you must have solid strategies for tackling different questions types and talking about why you choose your research topic. You might have already answered questions related to your research interest in your research interest statement and interview questions. But now, after years for in-depth study, it's time to really test what you have accomplished. And a thesis defense is your chance to demonstrate your in-depth knowledge and expertise in the topic of your research thesis. So while you will be able to take charge of the narrative and present your research to those on your thesis committee. So the professor will prod you to test how will you know and understand your topic, and the questions are mostly open-ended and give you the chance to showcase your knowledge and understanding, as well as any future plans you have made regarding your research topic. Because a thesis or a dissertation defense usually lasts between 1 and 2 hours, depending on the area of your research, and start with your giving a presentation of your interests, findings, and conclusions. So after you have finished, the committee members will ask you a question based not only on your presentation, but also on written thesis, as they will have read it before your presentation. And lastly, the committee might approve your thesis or suggest changes to your paper. So to give us more details and sample questions during defense, let us all welcome our presenter. Go ahead, Paul.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Elmi Gentong Palan, and I'll be discussing the most frequently asked questions during defense. So in this topic, we'll be tackling 12 tips of how to prepare for thesis defense questions and the sample thesis defense questions. First is how to prepare for this thesis defense. Number 1 is to reread your thesis for clarity. Most questions kasi sa thesis defense will be based on what's written in our research. So expected na natin na yung mga questions from our panel, manggagaling lang din so kung ano nilagay natin sa research. It also must be clear on concepts and understandable. We have to revise also if necessary, and revision is the starting point of the preparation. Number 2 is to have an answer strategy and structure. So we have to plan a strategy to answer the panel's questions. We have to keep the answers direct, depending on the questions na itatanong sa atin. And it can be elaborated if necessary. The key is to be able to formulate an answer. So if may mga chances na may tinanong si panel pero hindi natin kayang sagutin within that time, pwede nating sabihin na I am not certain on my research touches on the question you asked, but my research has led me to the blank, etc. The research or kung saang research ka nag-base. Number 3 is to predict the obvious questions and prepare for them. Pwede rin tayong mag-list ng possible questions na itatanong ni panel during the defense and getting to know the committee. It is an example din na getting to know the committee o kung ano yung mga areas of expertise nila. Number 4 is to prepare your slides in advance. Merong mga thesis defense na nagre-require ng visual aid. So, we have to double check the slides beforehand. Hindi lang dahil sa spelling or what, pero sa content kung ano yung ipe-present natin during defense. We have to make sure also the presentation will run smoothly on the day of the defense. Number 5 is to attend a thesis defense of other candidates if it is an open event. Merong mga institution na may mga ganitong open thesis defense na they require other students na umattend. Pero it is an excellent idea para alam natin kung ano yung what to expect sa meeting. Or if not, if hindi pwede yung ganong event, we may ask our peers or colleagues of how the meeting went and what questions were asked during the defense. Number 6 is to dress appropriately for your meeting. Defense meeting is a formal event. It is equivalent to a job interview. So we have to dress according to the event. Number 7 is to practice speaking for your meeting. It's one of the preparation to practice the presentation. It will give us the confidence for the actual meeting and presentation of the research. And we may also do a mock session to practice our speech and body language. Next is the sample thesis defense questions. Actually, marami to kasi iba-iba naman ang topic per research. So, pwedeng yung ang daming pwedeng follow-up questions or additional questions based on your research. Pero naglagay lang ako dito ng 20 questions na mostly yun yung tinatanong during defense. Number 1 is, what is your research study is all about? So, we have to summarize our research in a few sentences, the main point of our study or research. Number 2 is, why did you choose this study? This requires us to answer what motivated us to pursue the study in the first place. It also answers the interest in the area of our study. Number 4 is, what is the scope of the study? It is to define the boundaries of our project and define exactly what we are studying. There are several elements, but we have to define the parameters that we have chosen to study. Number 5 is, what phenomenon were you trying to understand with this research? It is to describe the focus concept of our thesis in the end. Number 6 is, who will be the most interested in your research? So dito, sino yung mga affected sa ating research and what parties who can potentially benefit from the research? Number 7, did your research questions evolve during the process? If so, how? Qualitative research questions change over time with respect to the responses you get from the focus group. It might change during, the questions might change during conducting the research. Number 8, what gaps did you intend to bridge with your research? So your research thesis must eliminate the present gaps in the concepts related to your subject topic. Number 9, why is your research significant? We should outline the impact of our research and the field of study. We may also talk about the new insights contributed by our research. Number 10, what did you find in your study? We may describe our research in a few sentences in this answer. Maybe 2 to 3 sentences would be enough. Number 11, what research findings surprise you? We may come across findings that we were not expecting. May mga answers tayong nakuha na hindi natin na-expect during the research. It describes the same to the evaluation committee. Number 12, what is the validity of your findings? We have to talk about the conditions in which our research findings would be valid. Number 13, why did you choose this research methodology? Dito magbibigay na lang ako ng example. So, for example, for studying the differential protein expression, its localization and distribution at different levels, we use the method of immunostaining in our research. So, depende to. Actually, parang it depends kung anong topic or yung parameters ng research mo is all about. Number 14, what sources did you use for the data collection? We have to use several sources to search for the data of our topic. We may also elaborate those sources. It can be database, content on the web, or we may conduct a primary research. Number 15, how can your research be put into practice? This talks about the practical implications of our research. It is how our research is beneficial to the society and how it can help in eliminating current issues. Number 16, how will your findings contribute to the related area of knowledge? So, anong benefits yung makukuha ng anong benefits yung makukuha natin from our research or kung ano yung makakontribute niya sa area of knowledge. Number 17, did you experience any limitations in your research? So, example ang topic natin is about the smokers, effect ng smoking, and paano siya connected into diabetes. So, for example, smoking increases risk of diabetes. However, smokers might be affected by some genetic conditions which can protect them from a diabetes. So, meron tayong limitations. Dun pa lang sa sentence, makikita mo na agad. Not sure kung naaalala nyo yung independent and dependent variable natin. Pwede nating i-connect yun doon na meron tayong specific topic sa ating research kung ano lang yung limited and hindi natin isasama sa ating research. Number 18, what sampling techniques did you use? It is practically not possible to study the entire number of elements. So we have to use a method to select a sample population. Number 19, what are the dependent and independent variables in research? So it is to describe several variables, factors that impact our study. Ano nga ba ulit yung dependent and independent variables? Independent variable have values which are not affected by the other variables. But on the other hand, the dependent variable have values that changes in the independent variable. And the last one, number 20, what areas do you suggest for further research? So we should describe what further areas are open for research with addition of our research to the field. This can also act as the starting point for future researchers. Kasi merong mga topic na nag-focus lang tayo sa isang main point. So, what if merong mga tanong doon na related sa main topic natin or sa main research natin? So, yun yung mga areas na open for research and additional research to the field. And that's all po. Thank you.
Okay, so as our presenter, it is important, no? Actually, there's somebody who was assigned to discuss the tips, no, on how we'll be able to prepare for a defense, no, So, again, what will be the most important things that we need to do is your thesis defense question will be based on what you have written in your research paper. Yes, it is a good idea to reread your paper, and you should be clear on the concept and understand your research well. No, it might have been some time since you would have submitted your paper, so a revision should be the starting point of your preparation. Then have an answer strategy and structure. Plan a strategy to answer the panel's question. Keep your answers direct, no, but elaborate on the research details whenever necessary. So if you do not know the answer to a question, that is all right, no? The key is to be able to formulate an answer even if you do not possess enough knowledge to answer at that point in time. For instance, if a question is about the content of your research, you can say something like, I am not certain my research touches on the question you are asking, but my research has led to and so on. No? Based on the evidence, would have to conclude that. Ganon ang gagawin natin. Another is predict the obvious questions and prepare for them. No? Alam naman natin, di ba, ang unang tanong, sabi nga ni Sir Ryan kanina sa kanang presenter, no? Laging tinatanong yan, what will be the research gap? No? Most of the thesis defense question can be easily predicted based on your research. And you can prepare a list of possible questions when you are going through your paper. Getting to know the committee can help you in preparing better. So their areas of expertise, no, can help you in determining what they might ask. And once you have a list of questions, you can start brainstorming how you might answer them. Sabi nga ni Madam kanina, you need to prepare your presentation. No? So if you require visual aids such as slides, as sabi niya, kailangan natin i-prepare. Observe ang rules natin na 7 lines per slide. Bulleted po siya. 40 ang title, 32 or 34 yung ating content. No? Okay, kailangan natin i-observe yun. And another thing is practice speaking of your meeting. No? Take your preparation to the next level by practicing your presentation. Because this activity will help you go the confidence, no, for the actual meeting and presentation. You can request your academic peers to help you out to the practice task. And based on their feedback in the mock session, you can improve for the actual session. Make sure to prepare well for the mock session as if you are preparing for the actual session. And you can also practice your speech and body language in the mock session. So if you use thesis writing services, these professionals would also be ideal people to test you in a mock thesis defense. So don't hesitate to reach out to them also. Okay? So most commonly, as I mentioned, you need to understand your research deeply, no? Providing that all panels always asking how will be able to come up with this title. Is there any previous research that you are not contented with the result, or you are disagreeing based on the given result for the past studies of this type of research? So ganun yung mga possible question most commonly. Then at the same time, we see to it that we could able to, let's say for example, your statement of the problem, let's say you have 5 statement of the problem. In the statistical treatment, see to it na what will be the statistical treatment for problem number 1? Problem number 2, let's say for example, ang number 1 mo is about demographic profile. So pwede sabihin natin percentage or kaya naman average weighted mean. Di ba? Let's say sinabi natin, depende rin kung ilan ang group ng iyong respondents, 2, 3. Kasi pwedeng kapag isa lang, pwede kang mag-standard deviation or pwede ka namang mag-chi-square, pwede ka and so on. Kung 2 ang group na or 3 na, pwede ka mag-ANOVA and so on. It depends. No? So see to it that you have, if you have 5 state with the problem, see to it that you have 5 different statistical treatment. No? And yung recommendations natin or conclusions rather, depende yun sa kung ilan din yung iyong statement of the problem. Kung 5 statement of the problem mo, edi dapat ang recommendation mo or conclusion mo 5 din. So ganon, laging naka-sequence siya, no? Then before kasi sabi nga ni Sir Ryan kanina, 'di ba, napakadami ng inilalagay natin na documents. Parang gumawa ka ng 200 pages na na output, no? Tapos naka-table na, naka-diagram pa, naka-graph pa, and so on and so forth. So napakarami na pwede namang anong prepared ba ng education institution ninyo? It's just pwedeng graph na lang kasi sa graph kita na kaagad, or talagang required nila na may tables at the same time may graph. So parang redundant kasi, no? Kasi sa graph it's too easy for us to understand, no, the research study. But it again, again, hindi ko naman kayo binabawalan. It depend upon to the practice of your institution. Okay? So, I think that's it for this topic.